Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live. I'm so glad that you guys are here. How is everyone doing on this autumnal Monday? There we go. We started off with a mistake. On this autumnal Monday, I hope everyone's doing well. Hello, Brad. Hello, Cindy. How are you both doing? In the UK, which is where I am, it's got so cold. It's crisp, but it's great. It is great. How is everyone doing? And where are you guys watching from? I'd love to hear from you guys. So last week, the reason why I wasn't on the live is because I was invited to a YouTube event, which was really, really great. And that's why I'm going to another one tomorrow. I guess I'm very lucky. I got invited to two events by YouTube. So lucky me. Okay. So just waiting for a few more of you to arrive. Today we're talking about trauma bonding, my friends. Trauma bonding. I know it's like one of the hardest things to, I don't know, like get past, and I completely understand. Like, this is so tough. Hello, Bruno. Bruce from Australia. Hello. Thank you for watching, because I know it is so early for you guys. So thank you. And Emma Hayes as well from Australia. Hello. Thank you. Yes. So I appreciate it. I know it's early. We got Palapaya from Virginia Beach. I hope I said that all right. We got Andrew from South Australia. We got the Australians in the house this week. Thank you for being here. We got Miss Didi from Belgium. Hello. We got Mel from Canada. DJ Dunk from Scotland. Hello. Even from Greece. Hello. We got a few people from Greece. And then King Callum, trauma bond traumatizes. Yes, it does. I'm going to be talking about all of that today. Trauma sticks with you for years. It does. We got Louise Phil in Louisiana. So we've got a whole host of you, my friends. We've got literally a whole host of you. How are you all doing? Thank you for putting down where you guys are from. How are you all feeling? My throat, oh my God. So last week, I wasn't feeling great. Do you know what? I think it was because, like, from overtiredness and my voice went. I don't know. You've probably heard it on some of the videos. I hate it when this happens because I can't speak properly and it's very bitty. Oh dear. We got Toba Joan from. I'm really sorry if I didn't say that correctly. We've got Sweden in the house. We've got New York in the house. St. Petersburg. I know. Did you know you survived? You survived. Bless you. We haven't got anyone. We haven't got anyone from Florida. I just wanted to check in. How is everyone doing after the hurricane? We've got Yang in the house as well. Glad that everyone's doing good, improving. Okay. So my friends, tonight we're gonna be talking about, this is what's coming up in the live stream today. We've got what trauma bonding is and how it forms. We've also talking about the psychological impact on survivors, on people that survive this. And we're also going to be talking about how to break the bond and to start healing. So those are the three main things that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to break down also, I'm going to talk more about the psychology behind the trauma bond and how to overcome them. Because I think, do you know what, my friends? When you understand exactly what the trauma bond is and how it forms, how it sticks with you, like what's going on, like it'll be easier for you then to basically understand it and then move on, because that's ultimately what it is. It's about knowing what you're dealing with and then healing and then moving forward. So, those of you that are in this space right now who are experiencing it, who are going through this, you want to understand it, well, then you're in the right place. You guys are in the right place. Hello, everyone. We got Bob in the house. Hello from Milwaukee. We got Monkey Man from Canada, Vancouver. Deborah. Oh, yeah, Deborah. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, we got you. We got you, my friend. This is what we're talking about because I thought this would be like such a great topic to, like to kind of discuss because I know I haven't talked about it for quite some time. And I also haven't made a video on it. So I thought trauma bonding, let's talk about it. Let's understand what's going on, and how to move forward from it. Yes, Bruce, you're absolutely right. It's like hitting a wall for sure, for sure. Oh no, Arcola, don't worry. You haven't lost. You haven't lost. It's fine. You're going to move forward from this. Okay, my friends. So let's get started. Let's get into the live stream. Okay. So I really wanted to understand, or I really wanted you guys to understand. And please, in the chat, if you wanted to share anything, please type in the chat. Maybe you want to share your experiences because I know that we are all at different stages of this healing journey. And, like we're all at different stages of experiencing this trauma bond. So it's fine. It doesn't matter what stage you're at, this is all going to be relevant. Okay, so in this part, I really want to understand what trauma bonding actually is. Okay, so trauma bonding is a powerful attachment that develops between your abuser, the narcissist, and you, the victim. Okay, so it's a powerful attachment bond. And it can almost feel like an addiction. Like you feel you're so addicted to this person. And what happens is that it is formed through a cycle of abuse. All right. So they abuse you, they're nasty. But then there's the positive reinforcement, which means that they are really nice to you, which really confuses you and then traps you into this relationship. So you're confused as to actually, is this person actually really nice or are they actually really nasty? Because they can be both. So it's a double. It's a double-edged sword, or it's a double-faced coin. Do you know what I mean? So you don't know how to regulate yourself. You don't know whether you're coming or going. And it can make it particularly difficult because, this person you really love, you really care about, and this person does this. So it's almost, I know that a lot of us probably would have made excuses. And I don't want you to feel guilty or upset or irritated with yourself that you did this because this is very normal. Like a lot of us are going to be doing this. A lot of us are going to be making excuses. So that's basically why it is called a trauma bond. All right, because it causes the trauma, it causes the dysregulation in our mind, like we don't know. So the psychological explanation to the trauma bond is something called a Stockholm syndrome. Have you guys heard of Stockholm syndrome? Do you know the story of why it is called Stockholm syndrome? You can type it in the chat, my friends. Type it in the chat. I hope you guys have got tea. You're sitting comfortably because we're going to be here for a little while. Okay, so you guys have heard of what Stockholm syndrome is. Okay, so this dynamic, okay, is similar to the trauma bond, where basically the victim, which is you guys, develops sympathy or loyalty to their abuser as a way of coping with the prolonged abuse. So the victim, aka you, knows that it's going on, but what happens is you develop sympathy and loyalty to the narcissist. This is what I'm saying. This is why we make up excuses. This is why we're like, oh no, but they love me. It's absolutely fine. Like, it's okay. And the brain, what happens is the brain becomes conditioned to the narcissist's erratic behavior. Okay, 1 minute it's this, then it's that. So it completely shifting. So it's like you're walking on eggshells, all right, leading to you developing hope. Okay, developing hope that actually this behavior is going to change and it's going to get better. So you're living basically in hope, which is very dangerous, which is what a narcissist is great at doing with their future faking, with their saying everything's going to get better later on or things are going to be better at some point. They don't tell you when. So you keep on holding on. And that's what I was saying. This is the trap. This is why you feel so trapped in this dynamic. So two are very similar. So one is all about an attachment. The trauma bonding is an attachment to your abuser, and the Stockholm syndrome is where you have sympathy or loyalty. And the reason or how this came about was a real life experience. In Stockholm, there were a set of bank robbers. I can't remember what year this was. I'm not sure whether it was in the 50s or the 60s. And what happens is these bank robbers, they hijacked a bank in the middle of Stockholm, and they trapped all of the workers, the bank workers, in this dynamic and wouldn't let them leave, of course, because they were like they were holding them hostage. But because this was going on for such a long time, the hostages then started to develop sympathy for the bank robbers, helping them out, like helping them load money, helping them kind of work out an escape route. And this fascinated many psychologists and behavioral scientists, thinking like, why would people do that? Like, why is that basically happening? So this is why this whole phenomenon basically was studied to understand. Yeah, like absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, this was done so that people could like it helped them to understand how human behavior is. So yeah, basically the victims within the bank, they developed all of these coping strategies in order to be able to handle what was going on. They were, of course, rescued, and the burglars, I don't think they did actually escape, but this was an interesting phenomenon, an interesting way that our brain basically helped them to cope with it. So can you see that this is quite similar to what you have been as well? Okay, so look, for example, imagine the narcissist constantly belittling you, okay? And they're literally shouting at you, they're being nasty, they're being rude, okay? And then suddenly they shower you with affection and they're so nice to you, telling you, I love you, and buying you gifts. That emotional high after a period of what the narcissist creates, basically it's a chemical rush, isn't it? And what happens is the brain reinforces that bond, kind of similar to an addiction cycle. That's why, my friends, that's why this is so derogatory. It's so nasty and so addictive. That's right, Bruce. It is the push and pull. Yes, Miss Didi, it is the addiction. The greater later confusion. Yeah, and you see, at the time, because you're trying to cope with what is going on, because you're trying to make sense of what is happening, you end up sticking up for them. So, or you end up making excuses because you would never think that someone that you love, that you care about would do this to you. And I think that's what makes it really damaging as well. That's right, Miss Didi. It is a dopamine hack for sure. Yes, please do smash the like button. Thank you. There's 72 of you here right now. Please do hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. That's so true, Deborah. Do you know what? Like, I have heard so many of my clients say exactly that. Is it me at times? Is it me that this happens? Like, is it me that is the narcissist? Because, like, they make us believe that we are the issue. Like, we are the ones that are imagining this in our mind. This is a very true thing, and I'm sure that this has happened to many of you as well. Like, some of you have probably even realized this as well. But that's the thing. When someone starts to cause you to question yourself, this is toxic. Okay. This is really toxic. This is what, guys, I just want you to understand that it is not, this isn't healthy. This is not a healthy dynamic. Sleepy says, I don't have to imagine her belittling me. And then 10 minutes later, she can't live without me, except she cheated and discarded me twice. There you go. One rule for one and a rule for another. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sleepy, this has happened to you. This is so bad. This is true. That's right, Bruno. The moment you realize that you deserve better, you do. Because you don't deserve to be treated like this. This is what I mean. This is why it is so nasty, so horrible. And it does ruin your self-esteem. I'm not gonna lie, like, it stops you from feeling yourself. It takes parts of your identity. And then what happens is that's why at the end of these dynamics, you feel like you are a shell of your former self. That's ultimately the really sad thing about it, because it does take so much. And also, whilst we're in it, we don't even understand that this is a trauma. We don't even understand what's going on. So the next part of this, I really wanted to look at how trauma bonds form, how how they come about, basically. So what you have to remember is that there is a cycle to this behavior. Do you remember? I always say this, my friends, I've always said this. Like, there is always a cycle to the way that the narcissist behaves, the way that they are. Okay. So trauma bonds are built on repetitive cycles. All right. Like the narcissist behavior, the way that they treat you, value, devalue, discard, value, devalue, discard. And it's always the same way. That's why when you become accustomed to this, when you become aware, you can predict, okay, the narcissist's next move. Because that's what they do. They their behavior goes in a cycle. Like the trauma bonds. The trauma bonds are built on repetitive cycles. That includes certain factors, my friends. Okay, certain factors in this. So, first of all, there will be the tension building. They're going to build a tension. They're going to make you feel a certain way. They're going to make you feel not sure of yourself. Okay. And then what happens? There is an incident of abuse, whether that's verbal, emotional, or physical. So it's kind of like they prepare you with this tension. And then afterwards, there is an incident of abuse. Okay. So they do something. Okay. And then there's the reconciliation. The narcissist apologizes, makes promises, shows affection, future faking, gaslighting. Okay, so then you can reconcile. And that's where it feels amazing, doesn't it? At that point where you reconcile with the narcissist. And so you feel like, oh, okay, like this is so cool. Like this is amazing. Like we're back on track. They didn't mean to do what they did. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. And you're right, Deborah. So true. You lose yourself. Fractured identity, Miss Dee Dee. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Hello, William. Um, yeah, then you feel with so much regret, but now I don't have to be, as I know I have my all. Bless you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Bob, I don't know. Yang, could you answer Bob? Could you provide a link, please? I don't know why it doesn't. Thank you. Andrew says you argue with yourself knowing how toxic they really are, but still ruminate like longing for your abuse. Yeah, that's the Stockholm syndrome, isn't it? It's true. And it's easier said than done. Like it's easier to say to someone, oh, do you know what? They're nasty, they're horrible, they're whatever. Just don't go back. Yeah, but it's not as easy as that, is it, my friends? It isn't. So that's what you have to remember. All right. That's what you have to remember, that there is a process to this. Okay. And with these trauma bonds, again, there is a cycle of abuse where this happens. Okay. So after that, after the reconciliation, there's the calm. Okay. Like the honeymoon period. And everything's great, isn't it? Right? Everything is just amazing. And you get back on track and everything's good. How many of you have been in that situation? Like, I know all of us have, right? Because we want to believe them. We want to believe this person. We want to believe that they are so lovely, so kind. I just read your comment, Melty. Yeah, that's right. They steal your soul. They steal your soul. That's what they do. You're absolutely right. Okay. And what you have to remember, you know what this all is, my friends? You know what this is? This is psychological conditioning. All right. Again, like I always say, think about it, right? Who does this? Who does this? What kind of a person behaves like this? Okay. So, psychological conditioning is a cycle that creates intermittent reinforcement. Are you guys aware of what intermittent reinforcement means? It's a key concept in psychology. Okay. I don't know. Have you guys heard of the oh, what was it called? Pavlov's dogs. That whole, I think I mentioned this before, in, like the previous live or the live before. Okay, so Pavlov's dogs, okay, where there was a ring, there was a bell stimulus, and the dogs would react to that. So those dogs were conditioned to basically respond to the bell. And I'm not saying that this is what's happened to you guys, but intermittent reinforcement means that you also get conditioned to respond to a certain stimulus. So, for example, think about it, right? You got your trauma bond. They're being so lovely to you. They're being so kind. You're amazing. You're having like the most amazing time with them. And then, like, bang, out of nowhere, they become someone completely different. Like, what? And this is what confuses us. This is what actually makes us question our own sanity. Because again, the brain does this thing, or we have this thing in psychology that first impressions count. I don't know why, it just does. That's just how the brain works. How you meet that person. So you form a schema or a concept about this person, and how you meet them the first time is usually how you remember that person. All right. So when you meet like the narcissist, or the toxic person, that's right, Isabel, that's exactly it. It's called switching. So like when you meet this person for the first time and you think, oh, they're really lovely, they're so kind, they're so genuine, you never think that you're being played. All right, because that's literally what's been happening here. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't ever feel that you are being played, do you? You just think this person is actually genuinely a nice person, but they're really not. But you don't realize at the time. So that's what also keeps us trapped. That's what also keeps us in this trauma bond, because you think that this person's actually really nice, like you got to know them as a nice person, but they are far from it. And that's how they fool us, isn't it? That's exactly how they fool us. So that really is what the intermittent reinforcement is you remember them as this nice person, but actually, if you really think about it, they switch on you, and they become someone completely different. And this is where you get the brain fog, or this is where you get the confusion. And what happens is our brains respond strongly to unpredictable rewards. It does. This is the thing, making the highs of the relationship or the interaction with a narcissist more compelling, or more addictive to the highs than the lows. Does that make sense? So you basically become addicted to the highs of them giving you attention, them giving you validation. And that's how you stay hooked. That's the trauma bonding. That is the bonding by trauma. And so what happens over time, you become desensitized to it, and it becomes normalized in your interaction with this person. So you actually become desensitized to the abuse, thinking that it's normal to argue every day. It's normal for someone to cheat on you. It's normal for you to feel anxious. It's normal for you to have an overstimulated nervous system. You just end up living it, accepting it as normal. So, um, as that happens, you then become hyper focused on positive moments and believing that things can get better. And again, this is the bad thing. Like, this is the really negative thing. You live in hope, don't you, my friends? You end up living in hope and thinking that this relationship or this interaction is going to get better, or it's going to work itself out. But you don't realize that this person is so toxic and so damaging. And we've all been there, my friends. I know we've all been there. It's so sad. Hello, Maria. Hello. It sounds like a drug. Then, yeah, it's a drug. That's it. It's the addictive behavior. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, my dear. Kevin says, "Stay strong, everyone. You will get through it better on the other side, and love your shirt." Ah, thank you. I'm actually feeling really warm right now. Under the lights, it gets so hot, but I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. And thank you, Kevin, for your lovely message. That's right, everyone. Stay strong. Okay. Don't let this defeat you. I mean, come on. That's not what this is about. You've got to move forward from this, and you will, but you've got to understand what you're dealing with. And then you can make the right decisions for you. Not only one person. My mum with my stepdad, that's why I'm in a new relationship and I had to walk away. That's right, Betsy. This is the thing. That is the only way. That is the only way to cope. To cope. It's like inverted commas. You don't actually get a choice. It is about walking away. Because what you're gonna do, stay and try and work it out when this person isn't about working it out. They don't care, you know? AB says it's really frustrating when they hoover and then disappear. Do you know what? This is true. I think I just literally filmed a video about this a day or two ago. It's exactly the same thing. It is really frustrating. That's exactly what they do. Hello, Junior. Welcome from Florida. I hope you're all right after the hurricane. Yeah, and he says, God help you if you need some help, like when you have a migraine, need post-surge help. Bless you. I know. Pala Pala says 2 years of life so hard. Wish I could have warned others. I know, and this is it. We don't actually realize. We don't realize at the time. That's the thing. You're so welcome, Ricardo. Thank you for your lovely message. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know we all believe that they were our soulmates, Ricardo. I know. I know because that's the thing about karmic relationships. And I just want to do a little mention here about karmic relationships. This is the thing. They are so addictive. All right. The karmic relationships are so addictive and they're so magnetizing. You feel so drawn to this person, like never before, like it's on another level. And so many of us get caught up in this. So many of us really just don't understand what's going on. And we it's like this whirlwind, isn't it? And this person seems so wonderful, so amazing. And this is exactly what happens. We do get caught up in this. And unfortunately, it really hurts us and damages us. But you know what? what doesn't what doesn't kill us make us stronger, because actually you can recover from this. Of course you can. Of course you can recover from this. It doesn't mean that you got to just sit down and accept this. You got to fight for you. Okay. All right. So you've been through this experience. You can't let it define you. It's just an experience. Okay. And that's how you got to look at this. All right. I know that it is soul destroying. I know that it is so saddening, and I know that it has taken so much from you. But what are you going to do? You're just going to take it. You're going to be in victim mentality. Can't do that, my friends. That's not what this is about. All right? You have to be able to move forward from this and start to believe in you. You got to do things that are going to make you feel good. This is just one person and they are the past right now. So that's it. They've gone. This is just one person. And this is all about you building, you making your mind stronger, coming to these lives. Like, this is it. You are investing in yourselves, right? You're coming to the lives, you're trying to understand what's happened, what's gone down, connecting with other people in the community. You see, this is what I mean. This is what is going to help you educate yourselves, understand what is going on, what this is all about. All right. Because I know that there's many people on this live who have also experienced trauma bonding to someone and they have got through it, which means there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel, because yes, you are going to get through this. All right. We don't just take it. All right, my friends, we don't just take it. We're not victims. All right. We're going to move forward from this. That's what I want you all to remember. If you take one thing from this live, please know that that is what is going to happen. Thank you, AB. I love your short video about narcissists as a puzzle you can't solve. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Bob says, Anushka, I've learned to disconnect from her energy when she's thinking of me. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's exactly what I was saying, Bob. This is what you got to do. You got to disconnect from this person energetically, because they're going to keep you on this hook. They're going to just keep taking from you. Um, when she's thinking of me, thanks for your suggestions. I'm glad they worked. They really helped me to move forward. I'm much stronger now and a lot happier. Yes. Well done. Like, that's amazing, Bob. That's it. Good. I'm glad that you're all right. I really am. That's so good. And that's what I mean. Let this be a testament, my friends. Those of you that are in the trauma bond right now with this person, know that you can move forward from this. It doesn't mean that you got to be stuck, in this cycle of thinking, because do you know what? You can change the way that you think. You can change your perspective. You can change the way that you see things. You really can, my friends. Doesn't mean that you got to be stuck in this mindset. Honestly, doesn't work like that. Does not work like that. Guys, there's over 100 of you here, and I've only got 63 likes. Smash that like button, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. And those of you also that are not on the chat, that's fine, guys. Keep watching. I'm glad that you guys are here too. That's right, Laura. You got to educate yourself on narcissism. You got to know what this is and the debilitating way that they behave. That's what you got to do. You got to educate yourself on this, my friends. You can't just go into this in the dark and just think, oh my God, because then that's it. You're stuck in a particular mindset. And why? Why? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourselves. Rise above this. Okay, this is about a growth mindset. This isn't about staying stuck, playing small. All right, this is your life. This is your life. Okay, you don't go down like that. There's more to this. There's more to this. Okay, where are we? I've lost track. I've gone on a tangent, my friends. You know me and my tangents. How is everyone doing so far? I hope that the content here on the live isn't triggering for you guys. That's the last thing I want, obviously. Good. Thank you for the hearts, my friends. Thank you. Andrew says, unfortunately, I can't go no contact, and every interaction sets me back. Oh, bless you. So you know what you need to do, Andrew? In that case, you need to put protection in for yourself. You need to put boundaries. Boundaries in how you interact with this person, because it sounds to me like this person has got a hold over you. Okay, maybe you have children or maybe you have assets. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to protect yourself here, my friend. Thank you, Speedy Rider 47. Okay, because look, every interaction is just going to set you back and trigger you and make you feel upset. What is it? And this is where you got to ask yourself, Andrew, what is it? What is it about this interaction that is actually triggering you? What is making you feel like this? This is very important. You have to become aware of what's going on. This is how you're leveling up your mindset. You're becoming aware. Okay. That's right. Palake. Yeah, staying busy, studying foreign languages. That's brilliant. Wow. What languages are you actually studying? What ones are you speaking? I'd love to know. Safety, physical, emotional. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Physical and emotional and psychological safety. Yes, it does take time to trust. But Laura, you found no contact the hardest 6 weeks. You've done it. 6 weeks. My friend, 6 weeks. You've smashed it. That's amazing. Like the first month, I've got to say, is the hardest. That's what everyone says. Like literally the first 4 weeks of going no contact with someone is literally the hardest. But you smashed it 6 weeks. Like, hello. Well done. Well done. Hats off to you, Laura. Okay. So the next part, I really wanted to look at the psychological impact of trauma bonding. Okay. So, what happens to you when you are trauma bonded to this person? Either you're in this relationship with them or you're out of it, or maybe in your family dynamics. Okay. What happens? Okay, when you are trauma bonded. So, these are the things that you can expect, or these are the things that maybe you have experienced already. Okay, so the first thing is most definitely the cognitive dissonance. Oh my God, this, I've got to say, this is probably one of the cruelest, one of the most challenging things that you'll probably ever experience. And one of the psychological effects of this is where the victim or you guys hold conflicting beliefs about the narcissist or that person that abused you. So it's like you believe that they are a good person, because do you remember what I was saying earlier? When you form first impressions with someone, that's how you get to know them. But then that person has shown you different behaviors, different ways of being over the time that you've been with them. And so you're thinking, Are they actually horrible? Are they actually a narcissist? Or maybe I'm the narcissist. Or maybe it's them. Maybe they're not that bad. Like all of that is going round and round in your head. And you're like, well, what actually is truth? What actually is the truth here? So this is the conflict that happens in your mind. And what happens is within cognitive dissonance, it's almost as like you zone out of life, of the present moment. Your mind literally is playing this to and fro. Like you don't know whether you're coming or going because all you're doing is thinking about that. Okay. And you know that you're being hurt, but also you believe that the narcissist loves you and that they can change. And that's also the damaging part of this. And this in a conflict that you have within yourself, this leads to self-blame and confusion of the whole interaction with the narcissist. So can you see, my friends? Can you see how this affects you in such a way? This is traumatic because you don't know what the truth is. You think you do, but then you're conflicted. And then you love them because, of course, you love them. There's no shame in that. That's fine. You just do. But then this leads to this conflict of self-blame and confusion. And then, after that, there's the emotional roller coaster. So living with a trauma bond, it feels like an emotional roller coaster. You're like up and down the whole time. And it's that cortisol, like you feel it in your stomach. When you get anxiety, you get flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Okay. And so you experience these highs when the narcissist is really kind to you. And then followed by that is these devastating lows. You feel really, really bad. And you just don't know how to regulate your own system, your own emotion. And what happens is that this creates anxiety, it creates depression for sure, and most importantly, PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. Each one of them, or all three of them, experienced at once, is really debilitating and very harmful. So, this is why it is really important for you to understand what you are actually dealing with here. Yeah, motion sickness. Exactly, exactly. Oh, Laura, that's so sad. You're crying every day. Oh, no, I hope you're not crying anymore. Dizziness, feeling sick. I've had terrible anxiety. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't know whether you're coming or going. I wanted to touch upon also attachment theory and trauma bonds because I think that it deserves a mention here. All right. From from an attachment perspective or point of view, trauma bonding distorts a person's sense of secure attachment. We all know what secure attachment is. It's where you feel securely attached to your caregiver or your parent. All your needs are met, you feel good. But where this blows it out the water is that the narcissist is so nice, they're so kind, they're so lovely, they're so loving. Like they love bomb you, they mirror you, you then become attached onto them. But at the time, you don't realize that there is a traumatic attachment that you've got to this person. And you believe that this person loves you. And then they are nasty. And then you realize, no, they really actually don't. But then they're really nice again. So that's why trauma bonding really distorts someone's sense of secure attachment. It may lead them to have an anxious or a disorganized attachment style, which makes it harder to leave abusive relationships. And that's even more harmful because what happens then is you've got codependency issues, you've got people pleasing issues, and that is again a toxic mix, because again you live in hope. You think that this person is going to change, and you believe that they're going to be different, so you live in hope. And what happens is when you live like that over a period of time, this then further embeds you're living in hope, the future faking, and then this is reinforced by the narcissist. So let's look at an example here. Okay, so you've got a parent. Let's look at this in a family dynamic, okay? Because we know, obviously, like in relationships, we understand that whole concept. But let's look at this, more in a parent-child relationship, where this can also have a trauma bond as well. A child might, so it's like where a child will only receive love if they conform, if they meet their parents' impossible expectations, you know, and they've got to face criticism. They've got to face all of this. And over time, the child then will associate love and a performance with emotional pain. So it means that love is actually painful. So that's how a child will attach onto their parents in a traumatic way. Can you see how this then goes on forward? So this child then will grow up to believe that love is painful, that they have got to sacrifice themselves or do something in order for them to receive love. But then also receiving love is not comfortable. All right, because it doesn't feel good, because there's an attachment of pain. That's the conditioning. That's the intermittent reinforcement. It's about their understanding of what love is. So this happens also in romantic dynamics as well, doesn't it, my friends? We all tend to understand that there's got to be pain behind it. You've got to experience this whole period of pain, but you know what? The narcissist is still going to be nice. They're going to be so nice to me at some point. And that's really what the trauma bond is. That's how it then goes on. That's how it then perpetuates, and you end up staying because you just think, well, you know what? It will get better over time. But does it? Does it, my friends? No. So Eldon says, narcissist is like a child torturing a bug with your emotion. Yeah, very good analogy. It is. Yes. Muppet Masterclass. Yes, that's it. And absolutely, absolutely. This is an opportunity to learn self-love, to like care about yourself, to learn about yourself. This is very, very important. Oh, I love that, Kevin. Love comes with a condition to receive love. It does. Absolutely. Angel D says, I saw the red flags at the start and too good to be true, and I ignored them. I'm ashamed of myself. Angel D, let go of that shame. Don't do that to yourself. Why? Why are you doing that? You didn't know. And I think that's where a lot of us become really upset with ourselves, because actually, do you know what? We didn't know. And then we kind of think, oh, well, we should have known. Well, how are you supposed to know? It's not like they were wearing a badge saying, hi, I'm a narcissist, or they didn't have a tattoo of it, did they? On their forehead. So how are you going to know? Okay, you saw the red flags. All of us saw the red flags right at the beginning, but we overrode them because we thought, do you know what? Maybe they're going to be okay. Maybe it's going to get better, you know? And this is, what was I saying earlier? Where was it in my notes? Um, yeah, the cognitive dissonance. You know that you are being hurt, but you also believe the narcissist loves you and can change. Didn't I said that earlier? That's what happens. You believe that they can change. And that's why it is difficult to leave these dynamics. It's like what I said, they trap you. They do. They ultimately trap you. Boundaries are important to have. That's right, sweetie. It is. Boundaries are all about protection. It's about protecting yourself. If you're not going to do it, no one's going to do it for you. You have to do it for you. I wish I could help you guys. I wish I could do it. But it's you. You're the one ultimately that's going to be able to do it. Joker's Muppet Masterclass. I love that handle, my friends. So, oh my god, some of your handles on YouTube, oh my god, they crack me up. This is great. Another one I just saw, Gucci loafers. I love yeah. These are very creative, I've got to say. Your empathy is the real you and will be taken away with the wrong people. Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. We were wrong. Just be real. Yes, we were wrong. Bruno says you can't fix toxic and stupid. No, no, you can't. And another really cool handle, Gucci loafers. We are kind people. That's why we ignored the red flags and don't be hard on yourselves. That's right. I like that. I like these encouragements. I love this. Yes. Don't be harsh on yourselves. Like, who knew? Who knew? Right? We thought we knew. We thought, was that a red flag? Like, was that them trying to be funny? And then we second guessed ourselves and then we thought, nah, they wouldn't be like that. Then they're not like that. Because remember, like when you got to know that person right at the beginning, the first impression, like you got to know them in that way. Like you got to know them as this really lovely person that wouldn't do no wrong, that was so kind to you. Like you, do you know what I mean? Like you'd never think differently, you know? So stop being harsh on yourselves. Those of you that are in the chat, okay? Don't stop it. There's no point. Because then, do you know what? Another thing that I was just thinking, you know what? Then you sit in victim mentality because you're the one that's putting yourself down all the time. And then you're like, yeah, I was a victim in this. No, don't stay in victim mentality because this just feeds the ego and it makes you feel so rotten, doesn't it? It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't help you to move forward from this. What is the point, my friends? What is the point? Life is too short to sit in victim mentality. Okay. Don't do this. Don't do this to yourselves. Okay. So, where are we now? Okay. So, the best bit. How'd you break free from a trauma bond? Okay. How'd you break free? Well, information, getting information, understanding exactly what you're dealing with. So, you have to understand what the bond is. You've got to understand what this is. What are you dealing with? Right. So, you know it doesn't feel good. You know that you don't feel happy. So, what are you going to do to change it? You're going to sit in it, wishing and hoping that things were different. That is victim mentality. Okay. But what action are you going to take to change this? So, understanding that this is a trauma bond, okay, you have to understand that this is an unhealthy attachment that is formed from manipulation and from abuse. You were manipulated and you were abused. And that, okay, is you're going to have to accept that, my friends. And I know that's harsh. I know that might sound really hard to hear, but when you accept the reality, the truth of what has happened, okay, this will help you, okay, to understand what you're dealing with. Okay, it calls out the narcissist's behavior clear, you know, out into the open, into the light, without trying to rationalize it or make excuses for them. Understand that what you were dealing with is manipulation and abuse. And it begs that question again, who does this? Like, hello, who does this? Who behaves like this? Why would someone do that? Think about it. They've got to be unhealthy themselves. Like, why does someone behave like that? Like, usually healthy people don't manipulate others. Although I've got to say, to manipulate someone is very easy. It's very easy. Okay. You got to build trust in that person. And it's a loser's game because you build trust in that person. And once that person trusts you, they form an attachment onto you. And that's where there is another agenda. That's where the narcissist then does things like this. All right. Because they are nasty from the core. All right. And that's how they take control of you by being able to manipulate you and be nasty to you. Again, what type of person does this? Why would you do this? Because there's got to be something wrong within themselves too. That's what you've got to understand. So, breaking the trauma bond, understand what you're dealing with and what kind of a person you are trying to make excuses for, trying to stay in this dynamic longer, because believe me, it's not going to bring you happiness. The next thing is you got to shift perspective. You got to understand that what is going on here, okay? And you've got to challenge your beliefs, all right? Because I know it's so much easier to sit in a negative mindset. Of course it is. You can sit there and you can wallow. All right, my friends, but you got to make a choice. You've got to make a choice whether you want to sink or whether you want to swim. All right? It's either one or the other. You can't have both. All right? So when you have these negative challenging beliefs, okay, like I can't live without this person anymore. Like, this person, I love them so much. Like, this is the only person in my life that I have ever loved. And I know that a lot of you want to believe that. A lot of you want to believe that this was the love of your life and that perhaps maybe they will change if you get better or if you conform or if you do what they want you to do. Just listen to what you're saying. Listen to yourself, okay? Because you're saying that you're willing to change your life, you're willing to stop living in order to serve another person or in order to make someone else's life better, you are going to sacrifice yourself. What is that about, my friends? What is that about? Okay, you can live without this person because you know what? You lived without them before they came into your life, and you're going to be able to live without them. Actually, you're going to be able to thrive without this person. Okay, and your other question, my friends, will they change if you get better? No, they don't change. These people don't change. I mean, have they done the internal work? Have they had the introspection? Do they even introspect? No, they don't. So they're not going to change. So don't think that just because, they found someone new or they're with a new person, that they are suddenly going to become this amazing partner, this amazing parent, the one that you wish that you always had. It's an illusion. It's such an illusion, my friends. It's an act. It's not real. And that's what you've got to realize, that a lot of this stuff, okay, a lot of this is about shifting your perspective and seeing the truth, seeing it for what it is, okay? All right? Because this is about overcoming. This is about understanding. This is not about keeping you stuck in a victim mentality. All right? You have one life, and it's this one. You're not a victim. You're not going to be stuck in the victimhood. This is where you have to level up your mindset. All right. So, this is about shifting perspective. So, things like, what can really help is something like cognitive behavioral therapy. And I'm not saying that you have to go and see a therapist, which if you guys want to, then sure, please do. But you can get so much resources online. So much of it is free online as well. So this is about challenging negative beliefs. All right. This is about changing the way that you think. All right. It's not comfortable, but it is possible. The next one is all about building boundaries and going no contact. Now, I know not all of you can actually go no contact because maybe you have children with this person, or maybe you have assets with this person. So it makes it a little bit harder to just not talk to them at all. So in overcoming the trauma bonding, it's about establishing, like strong protection or firm boundaries, which really helps if you detach yourself from this person. You know what? You don't have to keep telling them how you are. You don't have to keep calling them. You don't have to answer every text or every phone call. You don't have to keep watching their social media. That's also protecting yourself. Remember what's out on social media? Is that really real? Like, is that person really showing a true representation of themselves? Or should I reword that? Is a narcissist showing a true representation of themselves? Or again, is it an illusion? Is it more magic show that they want you to see? All right. And that's where you've got to become, more aware of what's going on, more aware of actually what is it that they are doing. Like become use your discernment. That's the word I was looking for. Use your discernment, my friends. Don't believe everything you see. Question everything, my friends. Question it. You know? No one just steps out of a relationship and then weeks later they're with someone else and they're like in this like fairy tale relationship. I mean, no. No, that doesn't happen But yes, it's funny because the narcissist does do things like that and they believe that it does. So by doing that, by going no contact or by putting boundaries in place, it's about reclaiming control, your control over your life and your emotional space. That's what you're doing. All right. Because you're taking the responsibility back. Um, you're taking that back for yourself and you're taking control over it. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me give you an example because I know it's easier said than done. Like I remember when I was like reading this stuff, it's like all about boundaries. Well, how do you set a boundary? What does that actually mean? And the way that I learned it, it's about protection. It's about protecting yourself. So that's about questioning things, trying to understand things. That's really what it's about. Okay. So let me give you an example. So let's say you're co-parenting with a narcissist. So complete no contact is not possible because of course you want to see your kid. Of course you want to see your child, okay? But you have to establish clear boundaries or protections around communication because you're going to have to communicate with the narcissist. If the child is too young and you can't establish that yourself, then obviously you're going to have to speak to the narcissist. And we all know that co-parenting with a narcissist is like near enough impossible. So the way that you do this, all right, is by sticking to the facts. It's like what I was saying earlier. You don't need to tell them how you're feeling. You don't need to answer their question. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to reveal that information because when you do, or if you do, they've got that on you. They've got that bit of information on you and they will use it against you if they have to, if that makes sense. So stick to the facts, okay? Or maybe you might have a neutral third party mediator that can also minimize manipulation. Perhaps maybe you could have your parent there or a friend or a cousin or an uncle. Do you know what I mean? Like something that's going to make it you feel you like you trust that person. So they're going to be like a mediator. So it'll make it easier in terms of communicating with that person. So that is an example of how you set a boundary. All right. There are obviously like many different understandings of that. But yeah, this way will really help you. Okay, and then the next bit, this is all about support networks. So breaking from a trauma bond, what you need is a strong support network. That can be your friends, that can be your family, that can be people that you know. Do you know what I would say? It's good to have them online, but it's even better to have them face to face because you know that if you're feeling down or you're not feeling good, this means that you can always go and see that person. It might even be like friends of friends or therapists, even support groups of people who have gone through like similar experiences to you have. That also is really helpful, and that can give you a lot of emotional support and a lot of emotional encouragement. And because I know that at that time when you're going through this, you might be missing that person, you might be missing that narcissist. I know we all do miss them at some point. There's no shame in that, but you will probably miss them. So it's good to have like a support network, somewhere that you can go, somewhere that you can, like you can feel supported. I think that's the most important. Somewhere where you can feel so important. So, do any of you have any questions about trauma bonding and the psychology behind it of what we have discussed so far? And this is, like this is how like you break free. So, if you wanted to share your experiences or things that you have gone through, I'll try and help to provide insight to all of them. Calling FM says utter lack of self awareness. Yeah, they don't have that. Joker's Muppet says 4 weeks. She walked away from the best thing she will ever have. When do I start growing up and going out? That really depends on you when you're ready. When you're ready, you can, of course. That's a good question, Narcissist Hex. My question is, what is a good first step after getting discarded? Do you know what? That's taking space and taking time for yourself. That's what I would say to you. It's about you understanding what you have dealt with. And I would also say, if you feel like being around people, if you feel like, um, having some support or whatever, then definitely I would say be around people. That will really help, to build up your self-esteem, but also take downtime. Depends where you are, depends how you're feeling. You've got to do what feels right for you. Once man says, do they really understand what they are doing? You know what? On some level, yeah, they do. Like to manipulate someone, you've got to be one step ahead you've got to be at one step ahead of someone. The same as if you want to control someone, you've got to be one step ahead. So you got to have some sort of emotional awareness of what's going on. So yeah, I would say that they do know what they're doing, which makes this even more dangerous, right? Makes this even more dangerous that this person knows what they are doing. They so do. They so do. Even says, is there a difference between male and female narcissists? Maybe it needs a different approach to leave them behind. Um, there is a slight difference between male and female narcissists. Male narcissists are a lot more charming, whereas female narcissists are a lot more seductive. That's usually their main kind of what's the word? Their main focus or motivation. That's what I was looking for. That is their motivation. That's how they get their victims. But in terms of behavioral approach, no, it's kind of like the same thing. They behave in the same way because the trauma doesn't distinguish between female and male or female. I mean, there is no gender differences. Ultimately, it's the same thing. Trauma is trauma. There's no gender differences within that. So the way that the mind then processes the trauma is the same way. It's only the motivations to get their needs met that become a little bit different. So a male narcissist will be charming. They will tell you what you want to hear. Equally, a female is going to become more seductive using sex and her looks to be more alluring to the males to get what she wants. So she exploits that need within a man. And whereas a man, like a male narcissist, will exploit that in a female, wanting to have validation, wanting to feel good. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only difference. But in terms of behaviors, it's going to be the same. It's definitely going to be the same for sure. Um, okay, so Papa, you say, hold on a minute. Oh my God, chat's going so quick. What books do you recommend for us to read to help us? Thank you. That's a good question as well. Okay. So books, do you know books? I'm looking at them right now. They're literally over there. Do you know what I would say is Van der Kolk? Okay. This guy is amazing. I'm sure you guys would have heard of him when he talks about the body keeps the score. So that's all about trauma and PTSD and how the body remembers. We got muscle memory, so it's also it's the trauma is stored within our body, usually within our muscles. Like when you have like when you clench um your wrists, your hands, or like when some people like clench their jaw because they feel so um anxious or angry. Some people have a really tight chest because the anxiety, their breathing, or a tight like back. The body will remember. So that's they took that's a really good book. It's a bit of a hefty read because it's quite psychological. Another one I would say is I can't see from here. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Do you know what I will do? Do you know what I'll do? Is I'll write this all down. Like because I do have books. I'll write this down and I'll pop it in the comments. Like after I end the live, I'll put it in the comments. So I'm sure that some of you will find this interesting. Yeah, like what books to basically read. Because that's a great question for sure, definitely. Um Miss Didi says they're not aware. Some of them are not. Some of them are not. Thank you, Bob. Yes, we are. We're almost at 100. Guys, smash that like button, please. Yang, you're not on it, my friends. You're not on it. Come on. Are you eating pizza? Is that why? He probably is. This is what he does. He eats pizza. Cold empathy like chess. Yeah. It's yeah, cold empathy. Yeah, that's it. That's it. They are aware, and they can read people so well. They're not silly. Like I know some of us we want to think that they are. See, I told you, my friends, he was eating. Yang, you're always eating. What flavor pizza have you got this time? Pepperoni? You better put it in the comments, mate. um, yeah, they do. They're aware. They are so aware. Unfortunately. That's why they can read you. And that's why, like, this is what I always say, go no contact. Stop telling them too much. Stop telling people too much because then people know. And then they use this against you. And I'm saying toxic people, I'm saying narcissists. This is what they do. This is why they keep asking you so many questions, wanting to know so much. Stop telling them things. All right. Stop telling them things because they use it against you. They use it to their advantage and they manipulate you and they get what they want out of you. That's what these people do. You've got to use your discernment, my friends. Yeah, I know you were eating. So no pizza today. All right, Yang. No pizza. So what is it? What are you eating? It better not be chocolate. It best not be chocolate. They are carnal or intellectually. Yeah, yeah. I can't read that word, but yes. Farid says, are they like this because they read people so well and are maybe jaded? That's exactly all of it. They do read people very well. They read your facial expressions and your body language. You know why? Because when they do that, then they can read you. They know what your triggers are. That's how you work people out. If you are able to read them, if you're able to ask people certain questions and you see how they respond with their, like body or their facial expressions, there you go. You got that person, You know what makes them tick. You know what what their triggers are. That's what they do. And what they do is they use it against you to manipulate you. And I've got to say that they are really, really good at it, aren't they? They are really, really good at the manipulation. That's how they get you. That's right. Information is lethal. SJ, you're saying you just chocolate. Yang, what are you eating, my friend? What is it today? I know. I fancy chocolate too. They do study you. Blackmail, could that shut them up? Ricardo, are you trying to play their game against them? I'm gonna say to you, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. And I'm not saying that because you're not clever enough or you're not intelligent enough. What is the point? What is the point? Why are you gonna do this? Yeah, you can blackmail them, but then what? They're gonna do it back to you. And then you're gonna do it back to them. And then there's this cycle that goes on. The difference is that you're going to be affected by it emotionally. They're not, because they just don't care. What they care is that they are winning, and they will win at all costs because they have no filters. They just don't care. Okay. So don't play their game. There's no point. There really is no point. Oh, it's just a cold sandwich today. Okay. Sweepstakes. Hello, my friend. How are you? Just made a tea and hopping on to join you. Oh, bless you. How are you, my friend? How are you doing? Are you guys making me hungry now? You guys are having a full on like food fest. And obviously, I can't. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying your beef hula hoops, your chocolate, your cold sandwich, pizzas. I really am glad that you're enjoying them. I really am. Because I would love that too. Yeah, they're jokers. They are. They're such jokers. And sushi, there we go. That's the icing on the cake. Love sushi. It is a power game, yes. I love that. Joker's Muppet says, "Don't wrestle with pigs in mud, they like it." Yeah, what's the point? You're welcome, Ricardo. Yeah, just be aware. Like you'll probably win the first few times. You'll win. But then what? That's what you got to do. You got to think about what's going to happen going forward because they won't stop. Okay? They won't stop. For sure they won't. So, what you have to remember, okay, is that trauma bonding is a psychological response to repeated cycles of abuse and reward. All right. So it is a detrimental aspect. It is something that anyone can experience. It can happen at any time in someone's life. But the key here is to understand that what it is a psychological response to repeated cycles of trauma and abuse. All right. So it works on the punishment and reward cycle within our brain. All right. We've all got it. You can't switch it off. It's just something that we've born with. But what you have to do is see this for what it is and understand that by engaging in this, it's only damaging you. Okay. And what happens is that trauma bonds, they do create deep emotional attachments, similar to addiction. And that's why we end up staying longer than what we're supposed to, because we're addicted to that person. And addictions are very difficult. I used to work in an addiction clinic with alcohol and substances, and it's really challenging. It's really hard because we get into a cycle of thinking. You see, like they do as well, and you guys do as well. Like, so you get into a cycle of thinking, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to shift perspective because this is all not only emotional, but it is psychological too. So this is about you shifting out of that, coming out of this, all right? Because otherwise you will stay addicted in this, um, in this way of thinking. And that's what keeps you trapped. There are people, like I have spoken to people, obviously like in my practice, and people who have like left these toxic dynamics years and years ago, but they're still in this dynamic. And that is because they are still trauma bonded to the narcissist. And that's where they're not understanding or seeing it for what it really is, and understanding that this is a, a perpetual cycle, but it's literally a response to repeated cycles of abuse. So you've got to understand that it is abusive and that you've got to step out of it. All right. And, breaking free from this requires awareness. You've got to develop awareness, a strong mindset, boundary setting, and you need external support. All right. Many of us do this alone. And hats off to you because I know that it's not easy, but you don't have to do it alone. There are plenty of people, resources, and support groups that can help you with it. Okay. As these live streams as well, So, and what I'm going to do is, if you're struggling with the trauma bonds, I'm going to include a list of resources in the comments section when obviously like when the video when the live ends, sorry. Okay, so these are going to be books, support groups, and therapy options. And of course my mentorship program is also available if you need more kind of like personalized support. I also offer one-to-one consultations as well if you want to have more of a kind of more one-to-one approach there. And also, what I would say to you is do journal. Journal about your experiences and reflect on any cognitive dissonance or unhealthy patterns that you recognize in your own way of thinking, because this is also about creating awareness. All right. You have to be aware of what is going on. You have to be aware. This is where you have to use your discernment. Laura, it's hard to step out of, but it's not impossible. So this is where you got to make that choice for yourself. Do you want to step out of it? Do you want to engage in this for longer? Because you can break it. There are many of you There are many of you who are on this live who have broken it, who have got through to the other side. And it's possible, it can be done. Okay, that's what we do need a support group for sure. Anushka, one thing that helped me in my healing journey was to stop blaming myself for not knowing what narcissism was. I thought everyone lived authentic, empathetic lives. I know, my friend. I think we all did as well, didn't we? But this is it. This is what happens. So yes, stopping self-blame. Yeah, blaming yourself. And I think we heard some people as well were saying like, oh, I should have seen it earlier. I should have left. You can't. Like how? Who's gonna? You know what? You didn't even know this person was a narcissist because if you did, you would have put your trainers on. You'd have opened the door, shut the door behind you, and run. You would have run, and you would have, and you know that you wouldn't have chosen this person to be with, would you? And those of you that have family members, it's not that you chose them, but you probably would have responded to that in a different way. All right. So, you know, yeah, like you didn't know. And so you've got to you're a victim. You were abused in this, all right? But we don't stay in victim mentality. We've got to rise above it. We've got to move forward from this. Because what is the option? You're going to stay stuck? You're going to stay in this mindset, in this life, in this way? What is the point? What's the point of doing that? You're only damaging yourself. I know, Fallon. We all said that we should have listened to the gut feeling because our gut knew, right? They knew. But we didn't know. Now, at least, let's look at this, my friends. Look at this as a learning experience. Lessons are expensive, and I'm not talking financially expensive all the time. All right. Sometimes, we've got to look at this and think, what was the lesson here? What did I learn? What can I take from this experience? Because again, if we're going to be like, oh, I wish I saw this sooner, like I wish I did, I wish I knew that, that's again victim mentality because it's something that you're staying stuck in a way of thinking that actually, oh, I should have, would have, could have. That's victim mentality because you're staying stuck. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comments. Yeah, exactly. You're staying stuck. So this is about understanding, right? I didn't know, I didn't see it. I'm in this trauma bond or I'm understanding this trauma bond in this way. And this is what's going on for me, accepting it and move forward. Because the more that you dwell, the more that you overthink, the more that you stay in negative headspace, negative thinking. And what does it do? What does your overthinking do? It doesn't help you, does it? It keeps you up at night and then you're tired and then you don't want to go to work, you just want to lay in bed and you don't your appetite, the way that you think, everything is affected. And so the narcissist has won. That's what we don't want. We don't want them to win. This is where you you have to now start looking after yourselves. All right, you have better things to think about rather than what they are doing and why this has happened. This is about, this is about creating a plan. Where do you want to be in a month's time, my friends? 3 months time? 6 months? A year? All right. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? All right. And that is where you've got to create a plan on how you're going to get there because this is action based. All right. It's fine thinking about it, but what are you actually going to do about it? So, this is where you create a plan and you've got to go forward. All right. Life is about life is fluid. It's about going forward. It's about seeing what now and, going forward because you don't have the past. The past is gone. It's done, my friends. That person is part of your past. It's done. So, the way we look at this is what are we going to learn from this experience? What can we take from it? How are we going to move forward? If we dwell in the past, okay, this is victim mentality. This is the ego. The ego loves to create stories. The ego loves to do these kind of things. Okay, so we've got to tame the ego, override it, all right, and make a plan of going forward. This is how you level up your mindset. Isabel says for me it was sleepless nights. We could have different reactions. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, we don't sleep because we're overthinking and we're trying to work out a solution or trying to get closure. But the closure is that you know that this person is toxic. That's the closure. That is ultimately the end. You know this person is you know this person is toxic. You know this person's not good. That's it. Oh, I love that, Arthur. Achieve greatness in little things. That's so cute. I like that. Oh, bless you. I have tea as well. Look. Tea with Anushka is a treat. I have tea as well. This is lemon balm. Lemon balm tea is very calming. It's also actually lemon balm is really good for those of you that are experiencing anxiety right now. Try and cut down your caffeine. Don't cut it out completely, but lemon balm is a real winner. That's not why I'm drinking because I actually like it. I'm fine with my anxiety today. My anxiety is not at all bad at all. So I don't have any today. But yeah, lemon balm's good. So yes, it's lovely to be with you too, sweepstakes. So we are coming towards the end. Is there any questions that you guys want to ask me, or is there anything that's on your mind you might want to answer to? Ricardo says she will not admit the possibility that I might actually be better, healthier, more spiritual than her, so she turns it around. It's always about the competition, isn't it? Always one-upmanship, always that they are better. Again, that's an ego process where you're always comparing yourself to someone and making out that they are worse and you are better because it makes them feel good. Makes them feel good. That's why they do it. Yeah, exactly. They are emotional, A-list, severely limited. They won't get emotionally exhausted. Probably not. Probably not because they keep going. They keep going all the time. All the time. Oh, did you? I've actually run out of hibiscus tea. I need to get some. Thank you for reminding me. Actually, thank you. I need to get some. The best one that I had was actually in Greece. I love that tea. So good, but I ran out of it very quickly. But doesn't matter. I'll see if I can source some here near me. Oh my God, Dennis, you're so funny. Tea with Anushka, we can make it a trend. Okay. Yes. Yes, it does. SJ Neurosi. Well, look, how about we do this? We can make it a trend. How about you guys know how much I love my teas, my different tea obsession with tea. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. Maybe next week when we're on the live. So next week, oh my gosh, so next week we're actually back to Tuesday at 9 p.m. I only did Monday today because tomorrow, like I said earlier, I'm going to another YouTube event tomorrow. I'm so lucky. Like YouTube invited me for the second time. There was nothing all of this year, nothing. And then suddenly two events Tuesday, like back to back Tuesdays. But hey, like they're really cool. They're in London. It's really nice to meet other creators, other YouTubers. So that's nice. They're the UK ones. It's not actually to do with narcissism. It's more about like mental health, well-being, and lifestyle creators. So it's really nice to do that because I tell you something, creating videos, doing the lives can get a little bit lonely sometimes because it's just me and the screen. And that's why I always say it'd be so lovely. Like if I could meet every single one of you, that would be amazing. Maybe when I write my book, I will do a tour. I will do a tour. And maybe I'll get to meet more of you. I'd really love that. Yes, the one-liner T-shirts. Yeah, Yang, you were all over that, weren't you, my friend? Bruno, you are right. I love that. Yeah, so next week, oh God, see, I go on a tangent, then I forget what I'm supposed to be saying. So next week, back on Tuesday for the live stream, yeah, we could have tea. Why don't we all have tea together? You guys choose which tea you want. Obviously, I can't have one with caffeine in it because I do like my English tea. I do like my English breakfast tea, but obviously I can't have it because it's too strong. It's got caffeine in it. So, you know, Yeah, we're doing the Yang, we're doing the t-shirts again. And you have to sort that out. I haven't got time for it. You're doing it. Snakes of a feather stalk together. Oh, cooling fin. I like that. Snakes of a feather stalk together. The snakes. Yeah. Ricardo says, could they fall in love with each other or does it have to be an empath like me? Oh, bless you, my friend. They love, do you know what? With when you put narcissists and love in one sentence, I think that's too strong a word. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it should be put in the same sentence. Narcissists don't love. They don't understand what love is. Okay, so um empathetic individuals love, right? Because they know what it is. Okay, so what we're talking about is here conditional and unconditional love. And I think what you're trying to say is if two narcissists get together, so that's all about supply and that's all about validation. It's nothing more, it's nothing different, and it's nothing more. It's just about it's one-upmanship. Who can do better? And the thing is, yeah, these dynamics don't work. They just don't work. It's funny because the narcissist relationships never work out. They always end. Always. Always. There's never been one that has worked out. So whether it's two narcissists together or a narcissist and an empath together, it's done, my friends. It doesn't work out. So no. Could they fall in love? Narcissists don't fall in love. They don't know what love is. Don't know. Completely don't know. Anushka, we can address the darker side of empaths in the next few weeks. I am no longer a pushover and interested in the darker side of empaths. Oh, that's a really good suggestion, sweepstakes. The darker side of empaths. Do you mean dark empaths or the darker side of actual empaths, empathetic individuals? Is that what you mean? Could you write it in the chat? Because this is quite interesting. Miss DDT time. I think events take their course. Yes. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I know I've gone silent. I'm just reading through the comments because there's so many, and I just like, yeah, they don't love. They, yeah, they can relate. That's it. Yeah, they can't. They want it. They want to be able to love. They think they understand it by telling you what you want to hear, but it's not the same thing. No. Oh, I like that, Arthur. Never underestimate the heart of a loved one or a person's that's enthusiastic with life. I like that. They always move on faster than the victim is emotionally unstable and have to build our own foundation of trust. Yes. And I know this can be really hard. Like, like you think, how do they move on so fast? And you just think, I'm crumbling here, trying to understand just what the hell has been going on. And this person has moved on and they're like going on holidays, they're going to restaurants, they're doing all this stuff. And I'm here, broken on the floor, crying, trying to understand what has gone down. And they're already doing that. Well, what does that say, my friends? That's just a clear indication that this person is not connected. Like, I'm sorry, but that does not happen. All right, it cannot happen. All right, from a psychological standpoint, you don't just be with one person and then just cut them off and then be with another. Like, human beings don't do that. So when there is someone who has toxic traits or they are toxic themselves and they're not connected, you see, this is the thing. When someone is not connected to themselves, they can do that. It's very easy because they don't connect, they don't feel. So everything's all conditional. Everything is all about how that can serve them. So it might seem that they're having the most amazing time right at the beginning and that they have found the one. Yeah. But then you'll see that over time, that also breaks down. Funny that, isn't it? It's just so funny that that happens. Yeah. No empathy. You're right, Isabel. And Miss Didi, the core is absent. Yes. The soul has left the body. There's no soul. All right. Ultimately, that's what it is. There's nothing there. So it's just operating from quite a empty space. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Sweepstakes, what did you mean? Can you put it in the comments? Because I didn't see it. Or have I missed it? That's what I'm looking at. Yes, Yang, stop mucking about and eating the sandwich. I love that. The pressure. Put down that sandwich and get to work. Thank you. Yes. I'm going to whip you into shape, Yang. Okay, my friends, I'm going to end this soon. So if you guys got any questions, oh, here you go, Susa. I knew you would have answered. I knew you would have answered. I'm not exactly sure. I would love to hear it. Or I just know from all the pain inflicted on me, I don't feel as kind to people anymore. Maybe self-preservation. Yeah, that's exactly it. We have our guard up. Of course, we've got our guard up. People are not how they were or how we had envisaged or thought that they would be. That's why we've got our guard up. And in a way, yeah, it is self-preservation. But all I'm going to say to you is don't close your heart off. Don't close your heart off completely, because then that's all about isolation. And remember, human beings cannot survive in isolation. It makes it even worse, you know? So I know you won't, because I know you know what you're doing. Okay. I know these days you're going to be good. But yeah, great suggestion for a live topic. Let's talk about dark empathy and what is the difference. Do you know what? I need to make a note of it because I will forget. Hold on, bear with me. I'm going to write it down. Well, I'm going to type it. That's what I meant. And sorry that the thing is moving. Okay. There we go. So I've written that down. Got that. Okay. So, my friends, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much, all of you, for watching. I really, really hope that this has helped you to understand. If you guys want to watch it back, take some notes. You know, as we were talking to understand. That's not a bad idea, actually, Yang. I need a whiteboard. And then everyone would see the back of my head the whole time. I know, Fallon, the eyes. You so can see it in their eyes for sure. Definitely. It's like their eyes are dark. There's no life for sure. The eyes are the window of the soul, and you can always tell what someone's like by their eyes for sure. Bruce, I like that. Be aware of snakes. That's it. Be aware of snakes. Thank you, Farid. I really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you. And I hope that you got value out of it. Me and Yang will be back next Tuesday. Yang, don't forget, get your pizza or your little sandwich, your little packed lunch, as you are here on the live. I've got a video coming out tomorrow, Tuesday. Yeah. I thought it was when I thought we were Tuesday. Sorry. I've lost track of days. So tomorrow is Tuesday. We've got a video coming out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So stay. Oh my God. It's close to this time of the night. I'm like, So yeah, make sure that you watch the videos. Thank you for all the hearts, my friends. And we'll be back on the live next Tuesday, normal time, 9 p.m. UK time. And guys, keep rising. All right. Keep rising. Keep working on yourselves. All right. This is a process. It's an ongoing process. I love that Kulin Finn. Love yourselves. You're stronger than you think. That's right. Keep leveling up your mindset. All right. Keep doing that. Don't stay in victim mentality. And guys, I will see you all next Tuesday. All right. Have a good week and see you next week. Take care. Bye.